Hey there, Discover Family Church. Hope you guys are having a great day. I was reading a verse in Proverbs, and I want to ask you a question to think for a second. If I was to ask you to compare wrath, anger, and jealousy, which do you think is worse for you? Which one? Wrath, anger, or jealousy? We probably all jumped to one answer, and my guess is probably was the wrong one, because honestly, I would jump to the wrong one too until I read this verse. Let me read the verse to you. It says, "Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy?" There is a good kind of jealousy. It's the opposite of indifference. Our God is a jealous God. He's not indifferent towards us. He is jealous for us. He loves us. But this proverb right here, it's really pondering the selfish, vindictive kind of jealousy, the kind of jealousy that most of us refer to when we refer to somebody being jealous. And the verse points out it right there. Wrath is cruel. It points out the impact of these things. The anger is overwhelming. It points these things out, but it goes to say that jealousy is beyond both. And most of us would probably not have put jealousy at the top spot there. We'd say, "Oh man, if somebody's jealous, you're like, okay, they're jealous. That's a normal thing." But if somebody's angry, you're like, "Man, that dude's angry. I'm staying away from him." And I get it. The thing is that wrath, anger, they're reacting to something that is wrong. But jealousy is a reaction to something that is right. Or at least in our eyes, it's right. It's reacting to something that is good. It is good. We want that thing. We are vindictive about it. We are jealous for that thing, and we're reacting to what's good. And you look to the Bible and we see the stories, Cain and Abel, the very first murder, the sons of Adam and Eve. Cain didn't kill Abel because Abel did something wrong to him. He killed Abel because he was jealous of him. He was jealous that his brother was doing well. And that's where the first murder was birthed out of jealousy. It wasn't birthed out of, he was angry, but the anger came out of jealousy. You look, the reason that Jesus was crucified on the cross because of jealousy. It rose enemies around him. They were jealous that this one leader was getting all of this traction and people were following him, and they were like, "We can't have him taking our people." They were jealous that he had a following and that people were moving towards him instead of their teachings. It was jealousy that the enemies of Jesus and Lazarus, came out. It was jealousy that the early church was persecuted out of jealousy. And wrath and anger, every time that they're irrational. If somebody is angry, it's irrational. I mean, generally speaking, our anger is an irrational thing. It bursts out of us when we're driving the car on I-4 at any given moment of the day. Anger is something that just irrationally just explodes inside of us. But jealousy is calculating. Jealousy is something that we think about, and I think that's why it's so much more sinister. Why it's so much more detrimental to us. But listen to this. The gospel it comforts us, and the Bible teaches us that when we're mistreated this way, that God is going to take care of us. There is a greater judgment from God. If we cut just a couple of chapters earlier, that was Proverbs 27:4 that I read that verse from. But if we cut back to Proverbs 24, verse 19 and 20, it says, "Fret not yourself because of evildoers, and be not envious of the wicked, for the evil man has no future. The lamp of the wicked will be put out." See, the gospel, Jesus teaches us to look for and to humbly rejoice in other people's well-doing and success. to look at other people that are doing well and say, you know what? I'm glad. I'm happy for them. It takes so much more energy to do that than to fight jealousy. Or to have jealousy come out inside of us. It takes so much more energy. It's so much harder for us because it's not something that is irrational. It's something that just we think about and we dwell about. Church, jealousy is something that can tear you apart inside. I've watched it happen to pastors that get jealous of other pastors who've had success in their churches. And we all deal with it. As a pastor, I can tell you that there are moments when I look at other pastors and I go, man, why is their church growing like crazy? Or why are they able to stay in the building they're in? Whatever it is. It's easy to fall into that, and every ounce of me has to go, no, wait a minute. I'm excited. That's a church that's succeeding, and people are being ministered to, and God is creating disciples, and he's using that church to do it. It's incredible. And it requires me to stop and say, you know what? I want to be more like Jesus here. I want to be excited and happy for what's happening in them. It doesn't mean that I want wrath and anger. I don't want those either. But if I had to choose, I will take something that irrationally comes out of me sometimes over vindictive, calculated jealousy any day of the week. And we all struggle with it, and it creeps in, but it's a cancer in our soul that will eat us up. So I encourage you today to think about the things that you're jealous of at times and start praying the opposite. Instead of praying for you to get the thing that you're jealous of, start praying thankfulness and gratefulness that that person received that. Start lifting people up around you. That's what Jesus did. And you'd be amazed at how quickly the enemy stops trying to use jealousy to take you down. It's a tip for you guys. If you're struggling with something, pray the opposite of it. And it's amazing how quickly the enemy will stop trying to use that against you. I love you guys very much. I hope you're having a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. Have a good one.